Fightfans.com. What's up? It's your man, Pretty Boy Floyd, the one and only.
Hello to fightfans.com.
Fightfan.com.
James Lights Out, Tony.
How you doing?
All right, so we're fightfan.com, and we're on the line here with Alfonso Gomez. Thanks for taking the time, man.
No problem, it's a pleasure.
So do you prefer us to say contender alumni Alfonso Gomez or welterweight title contender Alfonso Gomez? Which sounds better?
Welterweight title contender.
So, yeah. Speaking of title contention, April 12th, you're going to be fighting one of the hottest fighters in boxing right now in a WBA welterweight title fight against Miguel Cotto. Any pressure there?
Well, yeah, definitely pressure because it's like the biggest stage I've been in. But, we're just getting ready for it. There's no other way of doing this but in the gym.
And tell us how you're approaching this fight. Obviously, Cotto is a heavy betting favorite, and a lot of media and fans have you as the underdog. But what are your thoughts on that as you approach the fight?
Well, yeah, it's definitely I'm an underdog. I've been an underdog all my life. So I'm approaching this fight pretty much like every fight, training very hard for it and trying to come up with a good plan for it and making sure that we actually come out victorious by putting in the work in the gym and in the strategy too.
If we look back for a moment to 2004, 2005, you were a young, relatively unknown fighter, and you really captured a lot of public interest on the Contender. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that experience and, more importantly, what you learned through it going forward with your career now?
Oh, definitely was the best experience of my life. Now I'm recognized all over the world because of that show, especially in the boxing world, which is where I make my profession. And, I can honestly say that that is one of the reasons why I fought Arturo Gatti and why I'm fighting Miguel Cotto now, because of the popularity the show gave me. So it's definitely a plus having a huge fan base to support me.
And do you think the show and the experience help you feel better suited for the big pressure that comes with these big fights?
Yeah, I definitely did. Having the cameras there, having all the celebrities watch me, and then in the finale having so many thousand people screaming, definitely got me prepared for bigger fights like this one that is coming up, and also fighting in a weight division that is higher than mine, like a middleweight, fighting super middleweights. Definitely, helped me in the bigger stage fighting like Arturo Gatti, who at that time I felt smaller than my previous opponents, and I'm hoping that there is a case with Miguel Cotto too.
And I'm sure when that was happening, the whole experience, you had to think maybe this will lead to a big opportunity someday, and all of a sudden here it is. Like, is it kind of sunk in that you're fighting for the welterweight title here?
Definitely sunk in already. I've been ready for this all my life. I've been wanting it all my life. So now that it's here, it seems real. It seems like it has to be like that because I always imagined it that way.
I think that after the Contender, and maybe you could tell me the impression you got when you were getting ready to fight Gatti, a lot of people thought that it was going to be Gatti's farewell fight, and they maybe thought you were going in there to lose. But you went in there, and you didn't just beat him, you outclassed him. Do you think that was a good stepping stone in establishing yourself as a top welterweight?
Yeah, definitely a good stepping stone. Nobody gave me a chance against him, and I proved them wrong. Similarities arise in this occasion, but we can definitely say that Miguel Cotto is nowhere near his retirement. So this is a special opportunity to prove to everybody that I'm the real deal, that I'm ready for bigger names and bigger fights.
Right. And can you tell me a little bit about Miguel Cotto, like what you think of him as a fighter? Obviously, I'm sure you've seen some of his fights, and what do you think he's going to bring to the ring?
Well, definitely going to bring a lot of pressure. He's a fighter who trains well on his fights. He doesn't get tired, and as the rounds go on, his stamina seems to increase. So he's a fighter that is well prepared. And, what can I say about his power? He's proven that he has the power too. So, he's definitely a champion for a reason, undefeated. But like we said, and like I said earlier, I'm training very hard in the gym to expose his weaknesses, and hopefully I can do it on April 12th.
Can you tell the fans out there why you believe you will win this fight?
Just because I think I've been the underdog in my life and I've proven everybody wrong. I just believe there's another situation similar to the ones previous to this fight. I'm also training very hard for it, so in the gym I look good and my stamina is increasing, my mentality is getting better. So I think I have all the qualities to win this fight.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, and you touched on it a moment ago, it was the size in this matchup. Cotto is considered a big welterweight now that he's grown into it, and a very strong one. But like I said, I recall not too long ago you were fighting middleweights and super middleweights. So you feel your experience with those bigger guys is going to be good preparation for Cotto's size and his strength?
Yeah, hopefully. I didn't know what to expect, for example, fighting Arturo Gatti, but he did feel smaller and his punches didn't feel as hard as a super middleweight like Peter Manfredo. But, coming into this fight with Miguel Cotto, maybe that'll be the case and maybe not. There's no way of determining that. But if it is, we have a plan for it. And if our power and our strength is equal, we also have a plan for that too.
And you're listed as actually being 2 inches taller than him and having 2 inches longer in reach. Did you know that?
I saw him at the press conference in New York a few weeks back.
Yeah, how did you feel you guys sized up when you were standing with him?
Yeah, I think I did feel bigger and taller than him, but let's not forget that Shane Mosley is also taller than him, and
right.
Previous fighters too, and he was able to minimize that advantage by going in the inside. But I'm also an inside fighter. I like to fight on the inside, so I want to see how that plays out when he knows that when in the inside how strong I feel. So maybe he'll back up, maybe he'll come in. We don't know. You just got to play it out on that night.
You looked really good in your last 2 fights, both in stopping Gatti and outpointing Bentaki. Are you feeling pretty good at welterweight now?
Oh, yeah, I feel great at welterweight. That's actually my natural weight. The only reason I went up to middleweight was for the contender show. The opportunity to have my face all around the world, and also the opportunity for $1 million. That's why I did it, but definitely welterweight is my weight.
And what's training camp been like so far? Have you guys been doing anything differently for this fight with it being such a big fight?
Yeah, we included a conditioning coach, somebody that's getting my legs to go the full 12 rounds. Because I've never been to that distance. So, yeah, we definitely included conditioning training. And, the sparring has been going well, too. Similar styles to Miguel Cotto and fighting bigger guys than me, too.
Who have you been sparring with? Anyone we'd know?
He's Vito Gasparian.
Right.
He's I think, a light middleweight fighter. Also with Alfredo Angulo, also a light middleweight fighter. Both of them strong, very pressure fighters, and I've been sparring with them.
And you touched on this earlier as well, but having been in a similar situation with Gatti, and you said all your life, what do you think of the underdog role? What can you tell us about being the underdog and how that works for you?
Well, I let all that, not bother my head. I just do my work in the gym, and when I go to the fight, I just do my job, Aside from that, I don't let the underdog or the favorite or anything like that get to my head because that just adds more pressure.
Fair enough. I think that's all we have for you, man. Is there anything else you want to say to the fight fans in closing?
No, nothing. I just want to thank them for all their support, and I also want to thank my sponsors for helping me in this fight. And if they want to check more about me, about my progress, they can check out my website, alfonsogomez.com.
Yeah, for sure, and we'll throw a link up to that with the interview. We really appreciate you taking the time, man.
No problem, man.
All right, best of luck and health coming up for the fight, man.
Thanks.
All right, thanks for the time.